Hello again folks, High Priest here, and today we're playing some H1Z1. I just wanted to do a pretty quick video to give you my first impressions of the game. It's been out for about 2 weeks now on Steam Early Access. It's an MMO zombie survival game by Sony Online Entertainment. And so far I've got to admit I'm pretty impressed. For an early access alpha it seems fairly well polished already. I mean, Sony have already said a few times now that a lot of the current in-game items are probably going to be like placeholder stuff. I know they plan on doing an entirely new character model, and I can't blame them. He doesn't look like a particularly great character model as it is. They also plan to add in a female character model, as the current one is just a male one. Oh, someone's got a base up here. But yeah, I've been playing this game now for about 2 or 3 days. Had a little time to get used to the mechanics of it and how you go about things like the basic survival crafting and I have kind of learned a part of the map. Wow, it really is quite an elaborate base someone's built here. It kind of looks like it's decaying though, as indicated by these little white health bars here over the walls. But yeah, I just wanted to go through a few things that I've noticed about the game, and a few things that have been brought up by the community as well, through forums and Reddit and such. Oh, looks like the sun might be going down here. Could make for an interesting video running through the dark night. But yeah, as I say, for an early access alpha it seems fairly polished already, even despite the want to replace a lot of the current stuff in the game. Sony are currently offering a choice of PvP or PvE servers. I have played on both, and I do kind of like the PvE servers for like the purposes of learning the game, like controls and such, and some of the basic crafting recipes here for things like, you know, shack, your makeshift bow and hatchet and things like that. But from what I've been hearing, the zombies on the servers at the moment have kind of been nerfed below their intended effectiveness. I think that's mainly in the immediate time after the early access launch. Sony have stated for the first month the main thing they want to do is bug fix. And I've got to say, you know, I've been seeing updates like every 2 or 3 days. There were in fact 2 micro patches today that I've seen, so they do appear to be pretty on top of things. I know a lot of the issues that have been raised so far by the community have been dealt with in some way or are being looked into. I think one of the major problems that games in the horror survival genre, not particularly H1Z1 on its own, but like, you know, Rust, Daisy, Standalone, all those kind of games that clump together in this genre. A lot of the problem is how you deal with the PvP in a way that suits everyone, because I mean, I appreciate that PvP is a big part of games like this, but I don't particularly think that it's the be all and end all. Like, it shouldn't be an end game aim, if you know what I mean. Because it kind of ruins the game for other players as well. I mean, the way I kind of look at it, and I know a couple of other YouTubers have also commented on this before. I'm not the kind of person that can just shoot on sight, which seems to be the mentality of the majority of players in games like this. And you know, sometimes it's not even worth actually killing someone. You know, you'll be a fresh spawn with like literally no equipment, and people will see that you've got nothing and they'll still gun you down, which, like I say, not only ruins the game for people, but ruins the immersion as well, and the realism. I've watched videos by people such as Sidestrafe and Frankie on PC. I know at least those 2 guys are pretty similar. They would prefer not to just kill on sight. But yeah, the way I would look at it is, if this was a real life situation, it would be far more conducive to your survival to actually like talk to other people that you meet and communicate. Because I mean, like, not everyone's going to be a skilled carpenter or doctor or like mechanic and things, so there are going to be times where you have to rely on other people for your survival. Like if you need to travel somewhere long distance and you need a vehicle, I mean, I certainly don't know what I'm doing repairing a car, much more than like changing a flat tire. So, you know, if I was to want to drive across a zombie wasteland, I would need someone else to prepare a vehicle for me. So I think Sony need to look at how to kind of balance that factor and stop people from just killing on sight. And you know, like I say, I appreciate that the PvP aspect is a major part of games like this. But I think it makes a much better gaming experience and adds a lot more immersion if you try to speak to people and like group up with other players rather than just killing them because they might have an item of better loot that you want or something, which tends to be the reason people kill each other, or at least that's what I've seen in things like DayZ Standalone. I've been killed quite a few times being shot on sight in that. Purely because like I'll be carrying a bigger backpack than someone else, or you know, I'll have a firearm, or even something like a fire axe, and people just see that you've got better gear and they want it, so they shoot you for it. There's a lot of zombies around here. I'm just gonna kind of hang out here and eat some blackberries because I'm dying of thirst almost. These are player-made foundations for base building, but I'm not sure you can make this kind of foundation anymore. Basically to prevent people doing stuff like this and building a base in a high loot spawn area, because that's one of the issues with the game at the moment. A lot of people are griefing servers by blocking off high loot areas or like vehicle spawns and things like that. So they've switched it up a little in how bases are constructed. But particularly in things like the PvE servers, because you can't actually injure other player characters on the PvE. I know people have been abusing that and griefing others because you can literally like break your way into someone else's base, and even if they're in there, there's not really much they can do to stop you from looting their stuff because they can't injure you. Which again is one of the issues that ruins the game for a lot of people at the moment. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the zombies have kind of been nerfed from their intended difficulty a little at the moment. So apparently I can't access that loot bag. Can I at least pick up some of my arrows off the zombie? That's one thing I would suggest if you're using a weapon like the bow in game. Always check the corpses of things that you kill, whether it's a zombie or an animal or even another player, because a lot of the time you can retrieve maybe like 50% of your ammunition from someone. But yeah, that's another player. Hello. I heard someone firing a bow. But yeah, the things I do quite like about H1Z1 as it is at the moment, I think the crafting system is quite innovative, particularly because like even the Wikipedia page doesn't give you all the recipes for crafting items. It kind of just throws a couple of your basic survival items on there for you, and then the rest of it is sort of just a case of throw things in the discovery tab yourself and experiment. That's a bear up there on that hill. Bears at the moment are probably the biggest issue in game. Hey man. I don't think this guy's got it. I'm guessing you're probably not friendly, seeing as you're firing arrows at me. Oh. But yeah, I quite like the crafting system. The map, I believe, at the moment is kind of okay. It's obviously not too big, it's just like a beginner map, but I did wonder whether maybe this might be a placeholder map. I mean, Sony have said a lot of the current in-game stuff is placeholder stuff, but as far as I know, the plan map-wise is pretty much do the entire United States, which would definitely be interesting to see how Sony approach that kind of thing. Hey man. Another player up here, let's see if he's friendly. Hey man. He's friendly? I guess not. Yeah, that's one of the big issues I've seen with games like this. People just really aren't trustworthy of other players on PvP servers. Especially when you get bandits that say they're friendly and then, you know, they'll mow you down once you put your weapons away or something, or let your guard down. But yeah, I definitely think Sony need to try and find a way to accommodate that. I know there was potential discussion before about like characters developing skills if they survive for so long. Maybe like, you know, if you craft enough weapons for your little group of survivors, you might grow quite adept at it and be able to create bigger and more effective things. Maybe the durability of items doesn't wear down so quick or something like that, you know. Maybe if you repair a lot of vehicles, you'll be able to maybe make them run for longer without as much fuel or something. I don't know. I have no idea how Sony are going to go about that, but it would help maybe curb just the deathmatch aspect of PvP a little. You know, like if you come across someone that can craft you plenty of weapons, are you really gonna just gun them down on sight, or are you gonna actually bother to take the time to talk to them and figure out that they do have this skill that's useful to you and your group? You know, I just think it's a lot more conducive to people's survival to like communicate with others and group up. Aside from that, it's just like pretty much the basic concept of strength in numbers. Even if you do come across other hostile players, you know, if there's like 2 or 3 of you running together or whatever, it's going to be a lot harder job for one person to like hold you up or whatever. But yeah, I was kind of a little bit hesitant, to be honest, about recording this on a PvP server, mainly because I just figured that anyone I ran across would just shoot me, even though I don't really have much gear. I mean, I've got a bow and a backpack and, you know, some food, but there are people that have been playing since launch that have got AR-15s or shotguns, or, you know, and for me that's the major issue with PvP. Other than that, I don't care, because I mean, you look at something like the Walking Dead, and sure, certain people that the group come across are worthwhile, you know, inviting into the group of survivors because they have a skill that's useful, or, you know, even if it's something such as you're good at killing zombies, that in itself helps protect either you or the group that you're with. So I definitely think taking the time to communicate with players first is worth it, because in the end that's probably the only way you're going to actually survive for any length of time, really, is cooperating with others, which is pretty much how I think games like this should be played. There should be quite a lot of focus on, you know, teamwork and companionship, but likewise I do respect that there is a degree of PvP involved, particularly late game. I think that's kind of how it goes, you know. Early on, when you've got nothing, your main aim is going to be like some basic equipment, and then finding friends, and then like together a little group of you can set up a camp or whatever, and it's only really at that point that I think the PvP comes in as a major aspect of the game, because like you're going to be going out and raiding other people's bases together, and trust me, it's not something you can really do on your own in a game like this. I mean, even on the PvE servers, sorry, there are issues with players exploiting the system, as I mentioned before, with like the raiding of people's bases, and they can't really do anything to stop you. But yeah, I'm suitably impressed right now with how the game is, and as I mentioned, there appears to be like a patch every couple of days, definitely shows that Sony are listening to their consumers and trying to provide the kind of game that customers want. Some of the not so glamorous things about it that I've noticed. I mean, I can appreciate it is an early access alpha, so there are going to be bugs and glitches and issues for quite some time yet. But like for instance, the other day I was in a server with a group of friends, and we had quite a large base camp set up, and on the way out, the gateway killed me whilst it was closing. There have been issues with like furnaces and fires not lighting properly. Likewise, there's been, I know yesterday there was a bit of an issue with base doors and gates and things not working right. Oh, hello, Mr. Zimble. But nothing in this place. Now, I'm not sure if they've fixed the bug with zombies clicking through stuff, but found a gap through the fence now anyway. Yeah, as you can see, the zombies aren't too much of a problem at the moment. They have been nerfed below the intended difficulty for the foreseeable future. Like I say, I think that's mainly to do with like the testing aspect and bug fixing. There's no need for the zombies to be quite so ferocious at the moment. But the major thing that I've noticed as being a problem at the moment is bears. Bears are pretty much a two-hit kill, so unless you've already got a firearm, you probably just want to avoid a bear, and if you do aggro one, your best bet is run. Try and get inside a building somewhere and close the exterior doors. Although again, that's something that I've been hearing issues about, because apparently the bears will clip through walls and even up multiple flights of stairs. Looks like someone had a base here, but obviously haven't been online in a while, and it's decayed. I find these quite handy. You'll find caravans all around the map, and they're probably like one of the safer spots to do a quick bit of crafting, or like, you know, eating and hydrating. I'm not really going to go through the crafting too much. I'm pretty sure anyone who plays already has seen more than enough videos that cover the basic crafting aspects, and anyone that is thinking of buying the game has probably already seen plenty of videos as well. I don't particularly feel like I need to waste your time as viewers by going through stuff that most of us already know. I mean, if people want something like that, then I don't mind. I will go through and do a basic survival tutorial for people. But as it stands, I'm pretty sure there's enough videos out there by other YouTubers to demonstrate how to do stuff. I wasn't sure if that was a zombie then or a player. I'm pretty sure it is a zombie now. But yeah, for a first impression, I've got to say I do approve. There is a somewhat lack of content, but again, the game has only been out about 2 weeks, and you know, there have already been some pretty big strides in like bug fixing and making sure items work properly and stuff. I think the things I'm most looking forward to is how the crafting system will develop, and like the base building aspect of things, whether they're gonna stick with the current idea or maybe go for something a bit more like Rust with a more modular approach. I find it kind of interesting the way Sony have approached this at the moment, because having played the DayZ standalone, it looks like they've pretty much looked at things that players want for DayZ and tried to throw the basic concept of those together for this game. Like, I know a lot of DayZ players want vehicles now, and you know, the devs have said that that is on the agenda for 2015, so it's going to be interesting to see how the two will compare as they progress over the course of this year, and I think I'll definitely be comparing both of them. I have kind of used DayZ standalone as my yardarm for reviewing this so far, purely because I've played DayZ quite a lot and for quite some time now. So okay, something just got destroyed. But yeah, it's certainly a fresher approach to this kind of game. I just realised I am still dehydrated, so I should probably use this well. Can I use empty bottles? I can. Alright, that's good. So, yeah, marks out of 10 for first impressions, I'd say a comfortable 7. I like the ideas they've already implemented, and you know, I like where they're going with it. The fact that I'm seeing so many updates in such a short amount of time is kind of proving to me that Sony are definitely concerned about how players are viewing the game at the moment. Wow, how many of these zombies spawned here? I'm sure I was alone when I came into this little area. I think it might be time to leave. But yeah, I'd definitely give it a pretty comfortable 7. I like the things that has been implemented so far, even if some of them don't quite work as intended at the moment. But I can see a lot of potential for it, especially as a big competitor to something like DayZ Standalone. Which, I mean, you know, competition is healthy for any business, really, because such a big developer like Sony taking on a project like this pretty much just pushes the DayZ team at Bohemia to make sure their product is nicely polished and presented. Otherwise, obviously, they're going to lose a lot of their player base to other titles. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to more progression from H1Z1 or Z1, depending on where you hail from. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. You know, clicking that like button just lets me know that you guys want to see more of this kind of content, and lets me know that I'm doing a good job providing the kind of content I am. And with that said, I think I'm gonna hold up in this caravan overnight, close the door here and keep the Zimballs out. But yeah, I think I'll hole up here for the night, and I will catch you all on the next one.